You're standing on a platform, naked, in front of strangers who are discussing you like you're livestock. Good teeth, young, healthy. One of them grabs your jaw, tilts your head side to side, checking for defects. You're just standing there while hands that don't belong to you touch your face, your arms, your hair. This is humiliating. You're 16, maybe younger, hard to remember. Time stopped meaning anything when you were chained up and marched through 3 different cities. Your feet still have blisters from the walking. Someone bids, higher than the last guy. The auctioneer points at you with this satisfied grin like he just sold a really nice table. Sold. Again. 4th owner this year. Welcome to being a pleasure slave in the ancient world, where civilizations that invented democracy and philosophy somehow decided owning people for sex was totally normal and definitely not a massive moral failing. Spoiler? It was. Your city was conquered last month. You were just walking home. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong century to be alive. Enemy soldiers rounded everyone up. You remember the noise, screaming, smoke, your neighbor trying to run. Men who fought? Dead. Old people? Dead. Young people? Valuable. That's you. Your merchandise now. The soldiers chained you to 30 other people. Your wrist is still raw from the iron. Started walking. You walked for weeks. Sleeping on dirt, eating whatever they threw at you. No idea where you're going. Nobody's explaining anything. You're property now, and property doesn't get explanations. You arrived at a city you've never heard of. Buildings taller than anything in your village. Got sold to a slaver who specializes in luxury goods. That's you. You're a luxury good, like a fancy vase. Except the vase doesn't have feelings about being a vase. The training starts immediately, and by training, I mean trauma with lesson plans. You're going to wealthy clients. This means education, music, dance, poetry, languages, multiple skills because rich people want talented property. They want you to entertain at dinner parties and then pretend you're not a prisoner. It's the worst networking event in history, except it never ends. Your trainer is this older woman with dead eyes who probably went through the same thing. She's teaching you to smile when you don't want to laugh at jokes that aren't funny. She slaps you when you frown. Again, smile wider. You're learning to read emotions, respond appropriately. You're becoming a very expensive, very sophisticated object that can hold conversations. Your personality? Being erased. You used to love singing. Now you hate it. They ruined it. The Romans call this civilization. Bold choice. 3 months of training. You speak some Latin now. You can play the lyre. Badly. Your fingers bleed from practicing. Nobody cares. You just need to look like you're trying. You can recite poetry. Don't understand most of it. Something about love and honor and virtue. The irony isn't lost on you. Rich people like hearing poetry while they eat. You're basically a very sad entertainment system. You've learned to read faces. This is survival. If your trainer's eyebrow goes up, you're getting hit. If clients start looking at the walls, you're failing. If your owner's smile doesn't reach his eyes, consequences happen. You're constantly calculating, constantly performing. You're exhausted. You haven't stopped performing for 3 months. There's no off switch. This is just your life now. Auction day, again. You've been through this before. Doesn't make it better. You're displayed, examined. Buyers check your teeth like you're a horse. One guy squeezes your arm like he's testing fruit. Another asks you to turn around. Slowly, they discuss your features out loud. Good muscle tone, clear skin, probably fertile. You can hear everything. They know you can hear. They don't care. You're looking at the floor because if you make eye contact, it might make this worse. Young, well-trained, speaks Latin, can perform music. You're being marketed. The cognitive dissonance of standing there while people casually discuss buying you is breaking your brain. But you're smiling. You learn to smile. Smiling is mandatory. Sold. To a wealthy Roman, mid-40s, well-dressed. He owns a villa, reads philosophy, writes poetry about virtue and self-control. The irony of him owning people while reading Stoic philosophy about inner freedom is apparently lost on him. It's not lost on you. You're very aware of the irony. You're moving into his household, not the main house. That's for his wife and legitimate family. You can see them through the windows sometimes. Normal life happening 50 feet away. You're in the servants' quarters, nicer than slave quarters, not as nice as family quarters, property with privileges. Lucky you. Your job is complicated, multiple components, all terrible. You're sexually available whenever he wants, not when you want, when he wants. Middle of the night? Sure, you don't get to say no. No isn't a word that applies to you. Your property. Property doesn't consent. The Romans have very clear legal opinions about this. You entertain, perform music at dinner parties. His friends recline on couches, eating grapes, drinking wine. You're standing in the corner with your lyre, playing the same song for the third time because they forgot you already played it. Recite poetry. Engage in witty conversation while pretending you're having a great time and definitely not a prisoner. One guest asks, "Do you enjoy music?" You say yes. You have to say yes. You used to enjoy music. Before. You manage some household tasks, organizing his correspondence, managing his schedule. You're expensive. But that doesn't mean you only do one job. He wants maximum value from his investment. You're multitasking, against your will, constantly. The other slaves are complicated. Some are sympathetic. There's this one kitchen worker who sneaks you extra bread sometimes. Found family small rebellions. Stolen moments of actual humanity in this nightmare. Some resent you. You get better treatment, better food, better clothes. They don't see the cost. They just see you eating meat while they eat porridge. They think you have it easy. You don't have it easy. You have it different. Still terrible. Just different terrible. Some try to use you. Even slaves have hierarchies. You're at the bottom in some ways because everyone knows your job. Everyone knows you can't say no. Some people take advantage. Who are you going to tell? Your owner is kind. By slave owner standards. Which is a very low bar. You get decent food, a private room with an actual bed, nice clothes, soft tunics instead of rough wool. You're not being beaten daily. This is supposedly good. This is the best case scenario. It's still a nightmare, because at any moment this could change. He could die. You could be inherited by someone worse. His son, maybe. You've seen the way his son looks at you. Sold to pay debts. Age out of being attractive. You see new younger slaves arriving and you know what that means. You have zero security. Zero stability. You're living day to day, hoping nothing changes. Because change is almost always worse. You get pregnant. This was inevitable. This is part of your job. You're throwing up in the mornings. Your body is changing. Everyone knows. His wife knows. She won't look at you now. The baby is born a slave. Your owner's property. He might let you keep the child near you. He might not. He might sell your child. You have no say. Your baby is merchandise. Just like you. If he's the father, which he is, the child might get better treatment. Might be freed eventually, or might be treated exactly like every other slave child you won't know until he decides. His moods determine your child's entire future. If you're very lucky, the child gets freed. You don't. Your child leaves. You stay. You watch your child grow up free while you remain property. They visit sometimes, call you by your name instead of mother. This is supposed to be happy. It doesn't feel happy. Some owners force abortions. Can't have pregnant slaves reducing productivity. Can't have crying babies disturbing dinner parties. Your child's life depends entirely on whether your owner finds them convenient. You're 35 now, 20 years enslaved. You were captured at 15. You're aging. This is the terror. Your value is dropping. You see it in the way people look at you now, or don't look at you. You're not young anymore. New younger slaves are arriving. 16, 17. Where you used to be, you're being replaced in real time. If you're very lucky, he values you beyond appearance. Values your conversation. You get transitioned to other duties. Teaching younger slaves. You become the trainer with dead eyes. You're still enslaved. But at least you're not facing immediate disposal. If you're not lucky, you're being sold. Again. But this time, you're going somewhere worse. Brothels don't care if you're 35. Taverns need workers. You're going from private ownership to public use. Your conditions are about to get significantly worse. Or you're freed. Sometimes owners free aging slaves, sometimes out of kindness. More often because you're more expensive to maintain than you're worth. He calls you to his study. You've served well. I'm granting you freedom. Congratulations, you're 35. You have no money, no skills that translate to freedom, no family, nowhere to go. You're standing outside the villa with nothing. You're free to starve. Indignity. Most freed pleasure slaves ended up in prostitution. Not by choice, because it was the only work they knew. Same work, less security, no guaranteed food or shelter. Freedom without resources is just a different kind of trap. You're 40 now. Freed 5 years ago. You're working in a tavern on the bad side of town. Same work you did as a slave. Except now you're paying rent, buying food, getting harassed by customers who think you're available because you used to be enslaved. They see the brand on your wrist. They know. Your body hurts constantly. Your back. Your joints. Decades of use and abuse catching up. No savings, no future, no retirement plan. You're doing this until you die, or until you can't work anymore. Then you'll die faster. You think about your life sometimes, late at night when the tavern closes, 20 years enslaved, 5 years free, nothing to show for any of it. No family, no story anyone will remember, just another forgotten person who was property for most of their existence. Your last thought is probably what your life would have been if those soldiers hadn't raided your village when you were 15. But you'll never know. And speaking of being forced to perform for others' entertainment while having zero control over your own fate, check out my video on Your Life as a Roman Gladiator, because those people were also slaves whose bodies didn't belong to them except their performance involved getting stabbed in front of crowds while you had to perform in private. Both were nightmare scenarios designed to profit off human suffering. Different venues, same exploitation, different scars. Links right there.